If you want to know why people will never get to leave this cycle of poverty, if you want to know how to tell if a kid is going to be successful when they are as little as just 4 years old, and if you want to know what rich people teach their kids that makes them so successful, make sure to watch the whole video because I'll be answering all that today, along with going over how you can break out of this poverty trap. See, when you see a successful person, you might be thinking of them as this rich, smart, talented person. And although that's true, over the years, I've met countless of successful people. And the one thing that separates successful people from the rest is having the ability to understand one thing: delayed gratification. Now, there's actually a whole bunch of research done on this already that proves this point, but it's basically when you say no to something smaller now and sacrifice that to get something much bigger in the future. It's when you put that bag of chips down and eat an apple instead, when you stop scrolling on TikTok so you can study for the test you have tomorrow, or saving your money instead of buying some designer clothes. If you can control this concept of delayed gratification, you'll be able to see an enormous amount of success in your life, whether it's at school, your health, psychologically, or even in a social setting. Now, there was this study conducted in 1960 by a man named Walter Mischel, where he put 4-year-old kids in a room with nothing but 2 chairs, a table, a bell, a bowl of marshmallows, and a desk. And he told the kids he's going to leave the room and they have 2 options. They can either ring the bell and get the marshmallow and eat it right away, or they can wait till he comes back, or 15 minutes later, and he'll give them an extra marshmallow for a total of 2. The point he was trying to see was whether the kids would take the smaller reward now or take the bigger reward later on. Now, some of the kids ate the marshmallows right away, and then some of them ended up waiting. The kids who ended up waiting used techniques like closing their eyes so they don't get tempted, or thinking the marshmallow was broccoli so they don't get tempted that way either. But here's where it gets interesting. After about like 20 years, Mischel wanted to check back in and see how these kids were doing, and what he found out was shocking. He found out that the kids who waited longer to get the extra marshmallow were much more developed in life than their other peers. They had higher test scores, higher social levels, higher quality of living. They were described by their parents as mature. And then the students, on the other hand, who didn't wait, struggled to make friends, had a difficult time managing stress, and struggled to stay focused. Now, does this mean that if you don't wait an extra 15 minutes for a marshmallow, you won't be successful in life? Yeah, you won't. I'm just kidding. But from the research, Mischel says that delayed gratification is actually a skill or a muscle that one can develop. So people can change and implement delayed gratification in their life whenever they want. But what if we looked at another factor? The parents' income. And that's exactly what Tyler Watts did a couple years ago. He was inspired by this previous study done by Mischel, so he went out and got 900 other people with different backgrounds, income levels, and education, and he did this test again. And he found out something crazy as well. He found out that delayed gratification actually had a direct correlation with the parents' income. So basically, the higher your parents' income, the higher your delayed gratification was. So if your parents are rich, you're more likely to wait for the second marshmallow and end up successful later in life. And if you're born to a poor family, you're more inclined to take the marshmallow right away. He also noticed the kids whose mothers had a college degree and ended up still waiting for that second marshmallow did no better in the long run than mothers who had no college degrees. But when comparing these two groups with the kids from wealthier households, he noticed they did significantly compared to the kids with lower income households. They were much better off in the long run. They had better success. I mean, if we take a look at our everyday lives, people with lower incomes have fewer assurances in life. They might have food in the fridge today, but that doesn't mean they'll have food in the fridge tomorrow. So there's a risk that comes with waiting for them. And also, let's say their parents promise them things like a new phone if they finish a task, but when they do it, the parents don't hold their end of the bargain because they don't have the resources or money to get it. And by doing this, it deters the child's mind from delayed gratification because they did the task, they waited, and yet they still got nothing. Whereas if we look at kids who come from well-off parents, it's easier for them to understand delayed gratification because their parents have the resources and money to back up their promises. And even if the parents don't get them that marshmallow, they can get them something else. There's actually a book out there called Scarcity: Why Having Too Little Means So Much. And in that book, it talks about how poverty can push people to want the short-term goal rather than the long-term goal because it's scarce and they're thinking from a survival mindset. For poor people, indulging in a small bit of joy today can make life feel so much better, especially when there's no guarantee of joy tomorrow. The book also talks about how low-income parents are more likely to give in to their kids' requests, whereas wealthier parents make their kids wait longer for bigger rewards. Now, luckily though, it's not impossible for you to break out of this cycle, and the first thing you have to do is most likely the thing you've neglected that may have gotten you in this situation in the first place is educating yourself. The number one investment you can make in your life is in yourself. See, if you learn a lot and have multiple skills, you become very valuable to other people, and this will lead you to a stable job and a successful career. Either that or your skills will allow you to start a business that you can grow and make money from that way as well. Either one can make you successful. Now, there are millions of examples of people doing both of them. It's up to you to find the opportunities and take advantage of them. Even if you have to start at ground zero, everyone has to start somewhere, and the best place you can start is legit here on YouTube. There's so much content on here that you can get for free. You can learn how to code, you can learn how to sell on Amazon, you can learn legit anything you want to learn on this one platform. And the thing is, you don't need to do all this right away. You can divide this up over the course of 6 months or a year and learn probably like an hour a day for the course of that 6 months or a year. And I promise you, by the time you get to that mark, you'll see just how far you've came. I mean, just look at Michael Jordan. He was cut from his high school basketball team, and look at all that he's accomplished now. Invest in yourself and set aside time to educate yourself and grow, because I promise you that will take you so far in life. All right, I want to take a quick break and talk about the sponsor of this video, Aura. Now, I don't know how many of you guys knew this, but a couple weeks ago, I actually had an identity theft issue where someone was trying to get access to my information, bank accounts, investments, passwords, everything. It was actually probably one of the scariest things that's ever happened to me. And I had to spend like days trying to figure everything out and fixing everything. But going through all that really showed me just how vulnerable our information online is. And that's exactly why I'm partnering with Aura. Think of Aura like a shield against all your important information. Bank accounts, investments, accounts, passwords, pretty much everything that's online. They constantly track all your bank accounts and credit score for any suspicious activity. They probably have one of the best online securities with a built-in VPN, antivirus, and password protection. And the best part of all of this is that if anything does end up going through all that protection, they provide $1 million in identity theft insurance, which I doubt you'll ever need. The thing is, we have so many different accounts, passwords, and devices, so chances are we don't even know if this already happened to us. And take it from me, it's better to be prepared now than deal with it later. The process is super simple, and your whole family can get this protection, not just you. So if you guys want to be protected, which I really hope you guys do, you guys can check out Aura and get a 2-week free trial using the special link they gave me, which is down in the description box below. All right, back to the rest of the video. Now, the other thing you need to do to break out of this poverty cycle trap is watch who you surround yourself by. Because chances are, if you're in a friend group, your friends are gonna be the same way. Unmotivated, blowing money, just living life recklessly. Now, if that's the life you want to live, then by all means live it. Be friends with those people. But if you want something more, then you're gonna have to cut them off. Because remember, if you're hanging around 6 millionaires, you'll become the 7th millionaire. But if you're hanging around 6 broke boys, you'll also become the 7th broke boy. See, when you're with a group of successful people, you'll do everything to catch up with them. You'll learn from them. You'll start to see the goals they have and how you can achieve your own goals. Now, to learn how to stop being poor, you must know where you stand. And this step isn't easy because you have to be honest with yourself. Because when you're in this situation, money is a very scary topic. And the last thing you want to do is look at how much money you have. But that's what you're gonna have to end up doing. I myself was a broke college kid with legit nothing to my name, and the best thing I could recommend for you that I did during that time was get a piece of pen and paper and write a big T down the middle of the paper. Now, on one side, you're gonna put all the income you have coming in, and then on the other side, you're gonna put all the expenses you have going out. Now, by doing this, you can visually see how much money you have coming in and going out. Now, you might think you have everything in your head and you know exactly where all your money is going, but I promise you, seeing it on a piece of paper changes things dramatically, because now you can see where you're spending and you can figure out ways you can reduce it or cancel it altogether. Now, you can only save and cut back on your money so much. That's when you're gonna have to start making more money, whether it's through a side hustle or starting your own business. And I don't want to hear any excuses like I don't have any time, I don't know what to start, because if there's kids out there making tens of thousands of dollars every single month by legit copying and pasting the dumbest things, why can't you? And if you feel like you don't know where to start or what business to even try out, don't worry, because I was in the same boat, and this is exactly why I started my newsletter, where I send out daily unique side hustles for you guys to start. I show you step by step how to start it and how much you can make from it. I also go over huge trends that I see in the business world today and how you guys can make money from that as well. So if you guys are interested in any of that, make sure you guys sign up for free using the link down below. I can't tell you how many people I know who can barely make ends meet, but yet when payday comes around, they're the same ones that use that money to blow it on clothes, go to the bars, partying all night. At the end of the day, it's your choice. You decide. Are you going to break out of this trap, or are you going to continue it and pass it down to your next generation? It all starts with you. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in next week's video. Peace.